titillate the juices. You know what? Woo! Right now. Woo! Woo!
Dr. Hughes invites followers. Oh, let's see if they increase now. Me too. Yeah, wow. Dr. Hughes.
Mock-ass mock.
He's a great podcaster.
Trick-ass mock.
Acknowledge me.
We coming for you, nigga. Fat!
Yeah, Dr. Hughes, here we go. Keep plugging yourself, that's cool.
You fucking mark!
First up, a man whose looks will serve your inner needs and desires.
Dr. Hughes.
That's right. Back once again with Reezy and Danny. This is Danny's night pretty much, the Tuesday night, late night TV over in the UK. So shout out to you. Always
Thank you very much.
The government, which I
When they
love.
misbehave, yeah.
Yeah.
Keep them held to account. No problem.
We are rebels here. How about you, Reezy? Are you frozen?
Am I frozen? Yeah, looks like I'm frozen.
I
You're
have
still
a,
here, though.
Please.
I have a tech difficulty video coming up with you in it. We got Sasha Reigns in the house. It's going to be hilarious. We got all kinds of tech issues. Not only Reezy, myself. I think Danny and me at first. Yep. Lots of laughs. Get out of here and come back. See, I kicked him out. That was
Fair
my
enough.
dude. You can't. Nobody ever leaves here. I kick them out. That's how this works, people. Don't get subscribing or anything, everybody. Don't ever subscribe. Don't ever retweet the show. Don't ever share it to any of your friends and like it and hit all the buttons because you're not doing it anyway. And, keep it up. You're doing great work out there, everyone. You lazy bastards. So, we
Yeah,
got a lot to
I
talk.
think it's.
You're
You
back.
got a lot. I'm back. I think it's gonna stay frozen.
It's another
That's all
pose.
right.
It's a
As long
different
as we can
pose, though.
hear Yeah, it is a nice pose. A GQ-like pose.
Oh
Check
yeah.
this. Did I ever show you this one? That's the I got the symbol in the way, but this is the Rock. Let's fix this up so everybody can see him a little better. Let's make it as big as possible. He has no shoes on. It's like a Tekken character here. Like, what is going on here? Can anybody tell me? No, don't tell me. You know what? I'd rather not know because The Rock, you're looking ridiculous. You were the first guy to come out. I mean, of course, after Triple H. And you said things. You made up with Cody Rhodes, right off the bat. Like, hey, all that shit was fake, right? So you know me. I don't like that at all. That's terrible. It's the shit.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing in the world when it comes to wrestling. Cut that out. Do that off screen. I'll take it on like my cell phone here, but I got to play you this before I forget.
Play
So
it.
you don't forget. Shit. It already disappeared, but I'm gonna find it. In the meantime, what did you guys think about the initial showing of The Rock tonight or last night? Rather?
I loved it. I mean, he came out and got one of the biggest pops of the night. I don't think anybody was really expecting him to come out first. I think people was expecting him to come out, but not first. I think when he came out after Triple H, I just think that crowd went crazy. I like the promo. I think he opened the show good, so I didn't have an issue with it.
You, Danny? You a big
Yeah,
you a Rock guy?
I used to love him to pieces. I've got the first like 10 of his films on DVD or however many films I've got. I was a big supporter of his, but he started to believe his own bullshit and he's addicted to the smell of his own farts. And he did what he needed to do to bring people in and to be, hi, I'm the big star, I'm opening up, or after Triple H, whatever. But then he just stuck around too long. And he's trying to make us feel like he's more of a human. He tried telling that story about people, whether or not they could afford tickets for wrestling shows. And he was like, oh, this is quite a nice, sweet little story. But then as soon as he got the chance, it was just like, oh, yeah, the entertainment industry. And he just pretty much like touching himself and like dancing for his LA friends. And it was just like, yeah, there's your colours. That's what you really care about. There's all that in real life stuff with is now the tribal chief, and it's just like nobody. If you cared so much about that pretend belt that you gave yourself, and that's the title that's important to you, and you've been parading around with it, why should I give a shit about what any other title anybody else gives you? It's just it could be made up.
It was
just like
given
this
to
one.
him. They reinforced it last night. He was given that belt from Muhammad Ali's widow, I believe, or daughter. I think it was the widow, though. I think that's if I heard correctly. But I think that's how they're curtailing that in a way. Like they're like, well, it was given to by the greatest, right? The greatest widow.
I think the belt is more of a fashion. I mean, it's not meant to be defended or anything. It's more of a fashion for him, something that he comes out with to make himself feel good about himself. It's like jewelry, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's
So,
not only for himself. I think it's for the crowd and the audience.
Yes,
to
that
be
too.
like,
That too.
I'm not going to hold a championship because, of course, I got things going on backstage. I'm not like a full-time wrestler, but I'm just going to show to you. And this is the ego part you're talking about. I'm sure their reasoning is, hey, we're doing this to relay to the people out here that The Rock is super top guy. But check
Definitely.
this remember I was bitching about he stole my Mama Reigns bit, basically, from Sasha Reigns, who's here in the house. Her mama, The Rock stole this from you too, by the way. The whole WWE, because they steal from the show all the time. They always did back in the day. Now I'm back. Now they're going to start stealing again. It's happening, folks. Listen to this. I found proof. He said Mama Reigns, because that's where the bit comes from. Listen up, everybody on SoundCloud and Apple Podcast.
Universal Championship, it's going to be this belt here, Mama Reigns.
You hear that? That was Mama Reigns that he said. I got to play. You know how radio guys do it. You got to play it back twice.
Universal Championship, it's going to be this belt here, Mama Reigns.
Mama Reigns. He was going to give you a belt, Mama Reigns, if you're watching at home right now? Really? Okay. So, proof. I'm not just saying that they're doing this. They're doing it. They love us. Everybody should put us over the same way WWE does. Every time I go to their shows, they put me front and center on their TV screens, just like all your favorites, like Macaulay Culkin, who was there last night. In my opinion, allegedly, YouTube's terms and service in a boxing ring. Not only would I fight him, but somebody needs to be checking this guy's PC out, if you know what I'm saying. He just doesn't look right to Dr. Huge ever. And so I'm telling you, watch, come back to this in like 5 years or something, and I'll be right, because I'm right about everything and all this stuff. I'm always dead on. When I see people, I'm like, Logan Paul, scumbag. I knew it like as soon as I seen the guy. Yeah, I don't have to know these people necessarily if they've been in and around my life for a while. I get it. I understand what you're trying to do, Macaulay. And this is like the AEW people I speak about. Some of them, they feel like Macaulay Culkins to me. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Am I being just too harsh?
Oh no. I wrote a joke down when I was reviewing it. I like the fact that Michael Cole referred to Seth Green and Macaulay Culkin as massive WWE fans. And it's like they're tiny men. They are the smallest blokes you could probably find in that building. There's quite a lot of children that are probably bigger than them. And yeah, Hollywood keeps people like that around. I'll say that. I get what you're saying.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying too. I want to comment on this and say, I am aware that Macaulay Culkin and Seth Green are big wrestling fans, but to announce them as massive fans, and the way they announced them, like everybody, like these guys come to shows often. Last time I remember ever seeing Macaulay Culkin at a wrestling event, I don't think I remember. I know he's been to some, I'm sure, but I don't remember seeing him actually. I mean, it's just the way they introduced them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just what it was.
I'm telling you,
I acknowledge them.
I understand. I do like similar. I'm into wrestling and all this stuff too.
Hmm.
And I'm a little jelly that they're made of, and they're like sitting front row and getting all these spots, and yet they don't really care about like wrestling at all or the WWE in itself.
Right.
It's more of a money grab, and this is gonna continue to happen, and more than ever. So keep putting me on when I go on their WWE. Push me up to the front row, like hook a brother up, do something. I know you got pull all around there, people who are
Mhm.
watching all the time.
I mean,
Yeah.
Seth Green, if I'm not mistaken, Seth Green did something backstage for WWE once upon a time, if
Hmm.
I'm not mistaken.
Was
And
it?
I do.
Oh yeah, hold on. Was it Eat a Baby possibly?
That's funny. I don't know.
Friends with the
I
Pied
believe
Piper.
I do believe he did something backstage for WWE once upon a time, and I know Macaulay Culkin tweets about pro wrestling. But other than that, like I said, the way they introduce these guys, I totally understand why people feel that way. But again, WWE is going to big up any celebrities that they think are cool with
Especially
that.
millennial celebrities at this point. It feels like,
Yeah.
you know.
Just especially any of them that'll go and sit in the audience and get on camera. They
Mhm.
really don't care. They're happy to just push their own talent out of the way to be like, oh yeah, fuck these guys. We've got Hollywood people here. Look at them. Look at them. Don't worry about these stupid carny bastards in the ring. You don't need them. Just look. You've got the guy that was the Arrow or whatever his chuffing name was, and
I get it though. You know what they're doing? They're trying to relate. Again, this is all about messaging, right? And you're subliminally always hammering home points, and you have to make sense. So it makes sense to have the millennial superstars and people that may be known in the music and the this and the that, and to all these casual fans that are now watching, because a bunch of people have Netflix and they're checking it out just because it's a new thing. Oh, a live event that's going to occur every week or whatever. Oh, I remember wrestling. So a bunch of newcomers came last night, which means a whole bunch of newcomers, new grifters are going to be coming and making it harder for me. And I'm better than them. You know what I mean? Like, just because they're famous or have some sort of celebrity doesn't mean that they're more entertaining than Dr. Huge in the show. Like, go fuck yourself.
I mean, totally agree. I mean, Macaulay Culkin, I'm not, now I will say this. Here's what I'll say good about Macaulay Culkin. It was pretty cool to see him because I haven't seen him specifically on TV. Other than American Horror Story, I've not seen him on TV in a long time. So it's kind of a childhood flashback, like, oh, cool, that's Macaulay Culkin in the crowd. So I mean, it's cool that they came to the show. I mean, they didn't have to come to the show. So
I kind of
it's
don't
cool
want
they
him
came.
there.
but
McAfee,
it's
I
on
still don't
Netflix,
want.
so
Yeah, it's true.
You don't like McAfee, I forgot.
He's the biggest grifter of them all. Like, as far as like a guy that's just comes out of nowhere and then gets into the bit. Like, I like it. Oh, I got better and bigger things I can do now. I'm gonna go to college football. I'm gonna go doing this. Oh, I'll be here and there. I'll be at all the big events though because I'm a punter. He fucking punts a ball, and I'm supposed to be impressed by this guy. Like, get out of here. He's not even good at it. Don't
Well,
even have me in his place. Have anybody else. Put somebody else there, and I'll be happy. Okay. Sorry.
I'm confused, man. I've got written down in my notes here. Doc loves Pat McAfee.
You do?
I don't know. Apparently so. Yeah, that's what I wrote down as soon as Pat McAfee was there.
I don't know what show you've been watching unless I've been saying it sarcastically.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
the crowd, I will listen, man. The crowd loves that guy. I mean, that guy gets out his seat, starts jumping up and down on them tables and dancing like a maniac. I mean, those fans lose
It's
it.
so fake. It's so over the top phony. Booker T does the same gimmick, but I like it when Booker T does it because he's amped
Ducky,
himself
ducky,
up
quack, quack.
so much. Like for tonight's NXT, he'll be on there, I'm sure. He's going to be super animated. He doesn't dance on tables and stuff, but you know, it's all vocal because he's an announcer, right? He's not trying to make every time somebody comes out, oh, this is about me now. You know what I mean? This is because he doesn't understand the fundamentals of wrestling. I don't care if he wrestled Adam Cole. Adam Cole stinks and he's yellow and he's little. You know, this Pat McAfee guy though, he's got that raspy voice. Sounds like somebody's been choking him backstage for like hours before he comes on. He's got a 1,000,000-pound head. Get out of my life, Pat McAfee.
You really
I thought it
hate
was
Pat
his favorite.
McAfee.
Send it to him right now, everybody.
You
was
really hate
endearing
Pat
at first.
McAfee.
I don't hate him. I hate him on my WWE that I watch 1,000 hours of a week. You know, so he's like, and not only that, like I said, he's in the best Saturday Night Main Event. Oh, Pat McAfee. Oh, now he's doing the first Raw. Pat McAfee's back. WrestleMania. Oh, and that's what I'm saying. Everybody does like him, but it doesn't mean he's good.
How does Danny feel about Pat McAfee?
I thought he was endearing at first. When he initially turned up and he was sort of like, hi, I'm new. I'm going to pretend like I've not seen some of these things before, and I'm going to act like I'm amazed when things happen for the first time. I thought that was, it was endearing at first, and Michael Cole took him under his wing, and it helps refresh Cole. Cole had just got really, well, maybe a bit of that too, but Cole was really stale, and he's been hated by people for a while, and now people love Michael Cole, and they've like forgiven him for being like the drizzling shits for 20 years or however long it's been. So I do appreciate McAfee for McAfee. Yeah, I always forget to pronounce his name, McAfee. It doesn't matter, Pat. Noisy Pat. But now it's got a bit old. It's that gimmick of just like, I'm going to be really loud and like, oh my God, that was amazing, and I've never seen this before. But yeah, he's good. He's good as like getting the crowd worked up. If like off camera during the commercials, you need someone to like start psyching the crowd up, he's the man. He can do that really well. But
he eats.
I've heard people say exactly what you two were saying. I've heard people. It's been mixed reviews. I heard people say that my personal opinion about Pat McAfee is that it goes both ways for me. That, but also at the same time, he brings money. The crowd loves him, and I think he's a better commentator than some of the past guys they've had. Because WWE has changed up commentators a lot over the years, and some of them have been very bad. So,
and the thing is, he's out there a lot. You know, like I don't like Logan Paul. I like Logan Paul less than Pat McAfee. How about that, Pat? I really don't like him. I'm kind of goofing around when I don't like you, even though I don't. But I would rather, I guess, if I had to keep Logan Paul around wrestling, I'm asking myself this question right now, or continue to have Pat McAfee as an announcer most of the time. God, that's fucking tough. Man, that's actually tough. Maybe still Logan not wrestling. I think I would keep Pat over Logan at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't hate him that
Paul's
bad.
got such a slappable face. Logan Paul's got such a
How do you feel about
face.
Corey Graves then?
Corey Graves? Corey Graves is great.
Yeah, I like Corey.
I like Corey too.
You know who's super underrated and who should have never left the company in the first place?
Oh.
Tom Phillips.
Yeah.
Fuckface Phillips. Remember that little
Oh yeah.
He wanted to do that to people's faces apparently, and it got out there. It wasn't quite a page leak. It got swept under the rug pretty quickly, but still, he was one of the best.
You know who I think is going to make a legendary commentator one day when he retires as a wrestler?
Dr. Huge? Oh, no, you weren't talking about me. See what I'm saying, Danny?
See right there.
I don't even want to be an announcer, to be honest.
I think the Miz will make a great commentator.
Of
Maybe
course.
it's just me. I think when he retires, he'd make a great commentator. I think that's going to be what he'll probably do when he retires.
Yep. You are dead on with that one. Grayson Waller's another one. I could see Seth Rollins doing it. He seems like a guy that will never go away.
Yeah. I could see him wrestling.
Like from the business, like even if his body's banged up, he's going to still want to be around it like a Triple H.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I think we talked enough about all these grifters out here. And I pointed them out. Huh?
Oh no, finish. I wasn't gonna say anything.
I'm just gonna say some more names. I'm name dropping. Kay Adams. I remember you from the Patriot days covering my team, and then you blew up because you're short and you're cute and you know about football, and then you got picked up by the NFL Network. You're one of the big timers there, and now you're encroaching on my space. See how I'm using football terms, everybody? You're encroaching. I'm throwing penalty flags. I see what you're doing. It's on Netflix now. It's on the whole world's radar, and it's going to blow up like never before. And you're trying to get some of that scratch. Guess what? I've already been here, and I'm going to get it all from me and my people. That's what we're doing over here, okay? And you can come on anytime you want. I know I've probably been drowned out on X from everybody tweeting you about wrestling because you're like, what's The Undertaker? And who's this? And who's that? I already know all this stuff. Way ahead of you. I mean, I know children that know more about this. Nobody needs to know that you're even involved with this. Thank you. Good day. I said good day. All right. So
But
that's
just
all
to
I-
add, just to add to that, I do think quickly. I do think you're right about bringing grifters in. It's not going to bring as many fans in as they want because to start with, Triple H was just doing that intro where he was like just saying all the marquee words and pulling the curtain back and just like, so yeah, before you got invested in this, before you've even sat down and bought into any of it, I'm going to tell you it's all bullshit. So before you've got invested in a person or an idea or a storyline, I'm already going to pull the rug from under your feet and just spoil that. And then by the end of the show, because there's so much self-congratulations and just like, look how great we are. Any new people that have stuck around would have been like, Christ, these guys are good at congratulating themselves and patting themselves on the back. Is this what I've turned up for? That's how I saw it. And I just thought, yes, that show was terrible. Just the format of it and just the overall message and the attempt to just chase that casual fan that Vince would always chase. And he would always intentionally push the diehard fans out of the way to pander for this mythical beast that doesn't exist. Just
I'll give him a mulligan.
Cater to the diehards.
You know,
And it was 3 hours. 3 hours
Right.
again. Fucking hell. I was
Yeah.
not expecting 3 hours again.
That show was 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep, went pretty much to almost. It was pushing 11 here, so yeah. Yep. Oh, look, he's back for a second. Everybody
For a
gets
second.
a glimpse and
Everybody
again.
gets a glimpse. But you know, I personally, I thought I liked the show. Now, I do feel like I
Oh,
wish
let
we
me
could
try
have got
this.
more man.
Hold on one
I wish
second,
we-
Breezy. I'm gonna kick you
go
out.
ahead, go ahead.
Is it I'm checking your sound. It sounds like a demon's in there with you. Give it a shot. Uh-oh, he's
Hello?
not.
You hear me?
Here we go.
It's a little better.
Yeah.
It's better? Okay.
No, he's the demon's still there.
It's still there?
Yeah, try backing out and come back. Yeah, because it was always there, but now it's just getting worse.
I wasn't sure if
Gone.
it was my headphones or not, but no, it wasn't.
Nope. It's definitely like 99% of the time it's going to be Reezy. Yeah. So what else we got here? And you know what's funny about me talking about all these grifter people? I had not a whole lot of people or anything like that. Only one person has ever called me like, oh, you're a parasite in wrestling and this and that. And it's because I got into a back and forth with this referee. I forget his name. I know I've seen him before, and he was doing some podcast that was supposedly, I'm doing a real podcast as this ain't a real podcast, bro. I have more fans than you do. So, okay, if you like to do that, he was like the fifth man on a panel, and he was this old referee that was in my neck of the woods, New England. He was in the Hall of Fame, apparently. And I knew this. I knew because I'm right down the street from all this stuff. And, we were just fighting back and forth online. What was it? Oh, that's right. He was fighting with DJ Storms, if that's a throwback name. One of my early whack packers. Loved wrestling, but he was a maniac. And he was I think he was a teenager. So he starts fighting with this teenager. I stick up for Johnny Rockets or whatever his name is. And he comes at me, telling me all his credentials, and he's like, Dr. Huge, you're a parasite. Sure I am. I brought more eyes to WWE at a time when nobody gave a shit. And I would hear that all the time from people. I'm still hearing it to this day. They just started watching again on Netflix. They're like, hey, I'm going to tune into the show and, talk with you. They would just come to hang with us more than, care about wrestling. Many of these people. So you're welcome, pro wrestling world and WWE and all that. I know they recognized it, but there's some dumb fucks out here that don't understand, again, how this operates. Yep. So I'm pumping myself up. We may never see Reezy again. Oh, no, he's right there. Let's bring him back in after my rant. Look at him.
I'm back in.
Great.
I'm back in.
Sounding great, looking great. I'm telling you, these apps or whatever you're using, they must be the shits.
I don't know, man. I don't usually have this problem.
No,
That's
you
the
don't.
crazy part.
I've never
I don't
seen
usually
that
have.
before.
Yeah, but who called you a parasite, man?
I forget his name. He was an old ref. I was acting. This is the thing. I started trolling him because he's like,
Mhm.
"Well, you don't know who I am, then you definitely don't know anything about wrestling." I knew who he was, but I was saying I didn't know who he was because I knew it would get under his skin, and it totally did. And he was. I'm like, dude, you're fighting with a teenager. He's the guy I'm fighting with. Okay, like, leave it to me, bro. Okay, I got this under control. I know how to deal with these children. You're just out here, making him look like a total freak jerk asshole, which, I mean, at this point, now that he's older, he's doing it himself. But, we don't need some old guy out here pointing out that something we already know, right? And then
Right. Sounds like he's a little sensitive.
he thought he was so much better than Dr. Huge. Just like Brooklyn Brawler. How did that work out, Brooklyn?
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, I used to have that guy in my spaces a lot, and that guy is a character, man.
He's
I
great.
don't know.
I
He,
don't hate Brooklyn Brawler at all.
I don't hate the guy. It's just, the guy can sometimes, I can't think of the word, but
It leads me to this. Do you hate this
oh
guy?
yeah, I hate that guy.
You do?
That I do. Now that guy, I would love to give a leg drop to,
Wow. Would you?
then an elbow drop.
So you would boo him if you were there?
I would boo him out the arena. Actually, I wouldn't mind giving him his last match. I love to kick his ass.
Yeah, you got beef with me, brother. You want to take
Plus,
me?
I got to do it for Iron Sheik. It's all got to do it for Iron Sheik. Like Iron Sheik said, "Fuck the Hulk."
You know what about the Hulk Hogan being booed last night? It did make me sad. And I understand why he's being booed. I get it. Plus, it's a little over the top. Like, it's like people are still typing boo. It's the cool thing to do, right? It's been the cool thing to do.
Well,
Why do you think I goof on him, but at the same time promote him as one of my favorites? You see what I'm saying? It's there's
Yeah.
gray area in this, just like there is with everything in life, kids.
Mhm.
So has he said the N-word? Sure, we caught it on tape. Guess what? I bet 90% of some of your favorites of whatever you
Oh, yeah.
think have probably said that word. You know what are you
Yeah.
gonna do about it? What does it matter?
Yeah, and
It's
there's a lot of races. A lot of our favorite wrestlers that we grew up watching today are races behind closed doors. The difference is Hogan just happened to get caught on camera. His thing with Hogan is that first thing I want to put something out there for his people on social media. Hogan wasn't booed because of his politics. It had nothing to do with that.
I'm sure
It had a lot to
something-
do.
a little
It had a
bit.
lot. No, because then they would have booed Undertaker, though. You think? Because they cheered the hell out of Undertaker.
It's cool to boo Hulk Hogan, though. It's not cool to boo the Undertaker, even with the politics. But the politics does have a part in it. You can't You can't be at the Trump, idiocracy rally there that they had with Kid Rock and all that shit, and be like, Trump, and tearing the shirts, and then think you're gonna go to L.A. of all places, like Douchebag Island, and think you're going to be over there. You're
You
not.
know,
It's just not
I
happening.
think what really hurt Hogan though was that he's already been older professional wrestlers has already accused him of that before it happened, and Hogan has put a bad taste in fans' mouths many times before that. So to a lot of fans, it's more like, well, how many times you're gonna say sorry?
Yeah.
Not that he has to say sorry. Wait, not that he has to say sorry because he is a grown ass man, but as a celebrity that people looked up to, they expected Hogan to be something different than what he really was. And when Hogan made his mistakes and he did things that fans seen and made them uncomfortable, he didn't technically come out and apologize for it. He didn't come out and kind of make up for it. And
Yeah.
I feel like that would have helped him out a little bit if he showed up on a WWE program or something, or did something to the pub, just did something to at least explain himself and apologize. But see, Hogan never did that. And
He
he
doesn't give a
continued,
shit.
yeah. And he continued to do stuff, kind of
And
like
the
his
thing is,
beard thing.
like younger people, like I'm one of the younger Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan fans. Like I seen him from. That's why it made me feel sad, even though I wasn't
Right.
feeling sad for Hogan. It was almost like I just
Right.
felt this like oh my god, like this is where we are now. Now that I'm older.
Yeah.
Is like the biggest guy, in the world when I was a kid is now like the shits. And like I said, I get it. And it's definitely like 80-20, the racist political stuff. The political stuff just definitely doesn't help. And definitely, like I'm telling you, because if he was in, say, Texas or Florida or whatever, the reaction would be maybe not drastically different, but it'd be definitely different. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and
I mean, no,
what do you
you're
think? What do
100%
you
right.
thinking about this Hulk Hogan being booed last night, Danny?
I don't disagree with anything either of you have just said, but I think a lot of it was because it's just cool to boo him. You go back and listen to it, and as soon as you heard dun dun dun, people popped, people cheered, and then after they sort of like realized that they just let themselves
It
get
just
caught
feels
up
like
in
a
it,
work. Yep.
they dialed it down. But I completely agree why someone would boo. He came out hiding behind Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart had the American flag, who then at one point Hart literally was hiding behind it while Hogan was getting booed.
Yeah, it was.
Hogan strutted out, hiding behind little old Jimmy Hart, who always just ends up getting so much shit. Hogan didn't even have like a USA t-shirt or a wrestling t-shirt. It was just immediately, here's my new product. I'm coming out with my new product. And I think people just saw that instantly. Undertaker didn't have that.
Yeah.
Undertaker had his usual gimmick, being a wrestler. Whereas there was 6 different fucking companies advertising on the canvas in the ring last night. There was adverts just on everything. And people just saw a walking advert coming out, and it's like, hey, it's quite funny to boo this guy. Let's give him some shit. And like I say, you listen to that pop again. They popped. They did the same with The Rock. As soon as they heard The Rock's music, a lot more people got excited, and then it sort of like tapered off once he like outstayed his welcome.
Wait. And they're like,
Yeah.
this isn't Terry Bollea 8-inch penis. This is supposed to be Hulk Hogan 12-inch penis. And we all know that's a work because we found out in in court.
Oh, yeah.
Literally. 12-inch.
But,
That's a drastic difference in penis right there.
But, yeah. What did you expect in California? It's just, yeah. What did you expect?
But
That
I
person
also
doing that shtick and advertising just so blatantly was just, yeah, that was daft.
and I totally see why it's so funny. Like I said, it's such a sad situation that the WWE can't have. In my opinion, he's bigger than everybody. If he wasn't there to do what he did, whether it's silly or not, in that day and age, do you really get all the rest of the stuff? You might not get it. You might get something way different and more like WCW style stuff. I don't know, but like he set the tone so high with the pay-per-view age and all that in the 80s going into the 90s. It's just like, wow, man, don't ever screw other radio guys' wives. All right, That's
No, don't
that
ever do
was like
that.
that was the beginning of the end for this guy. He screwed the Bubba the Love Sponge's wife, who was involved in TNA, by the way, if people don't know that, a Florida radio host. The only reason
Who was his wife in TNA?
his wife was just some hot chick, even though he was a big fat guy.
Okay.
But he had a radio show, and Hogan used him as like a mouthpiece to, like, you know, talk good about his kids or whatever, and try to get them over, or to dunk on his ex-wife there. So Bubba was like that guy, but Bubba liked wrestling and was involved with TNA. And one of the greatest stories from the Stern days, that's the only reason I know about Bubba the Love Sponge, is through Howard Stern had him on his channels back in the day. But he went to TNA and supposedly had all these free tickets for his fans. They showed up, there was no tickets for him, and people in the crowd were spitting on him. Because he's not like the greatest guy in the world either. But him and Hogan became like best friends, right? This is how I know all this Hogan stuff. It's not even because of the wrestling angle. It's more because I knew about Bubba the Love Sponge, and then it blew up into a whole thing on the radio. And Hulk Hogan was filmed having sex with Bubba the Love Sponge's wife, and it was Bubba's cameras. And I don't know if people have actually seen the videos, but the way it was set up, it looked like it was like horizontal. It was coming right at you, or right at the bed, rather. And it looked as if somebody had placed something there to catch him. And this is a guy that had cameras all over his house for whatever reason back in the day. And do I believe that the Hulkster didn't know about it? Yeah, because it wasn't really a big sex, whatever they call them, sex video. It was just a Hogan under the sheets having sex with another guy's wife, and it was a little weird. We got to find out that Hulk Hogan much smaller than what he say, you know, in a court of law. So now he gets booed because after he had sex with this chick, right? He goes into this whole rant. He's got the pillow talk going. Oh yeah, my daughter, she's dating this black guy, and he's N, and this and that, and you know me. You know us Florida people. We don't like that. Especially with my blonde daughter, right? So ever since, it's been rough sailing for the Hulkster. You like that story, bro? That's my bedtime story. I usually...
That's very interesting because I don't know much about Bubba the Love Sponge. I've heard his name, and I've only heard negative stuff about him. So, I mean, all this is news to my ears.
Yep.
So, I mean, that was a history lesson for me.
Bubba stinks. Yeah.
I'm crying. I've never heard his show before. I don't even know what the guy looks like.
Turd. Yeah. That's kind of what he sounds like. And he got so fat at one point. Here's another Bubba fact that I know. Like I said, I might as well use this knowledge for something. And I'm informing everybody else of who the man is that allowed himself to get cuckolded by Hulk Hogan. And Bubba the Love Sponge got so fat at one point in his life, he couldn't wipe his own ass, bro. That's crazy.
He's fat.
Get a little louder, Steiner.
He's fat.
Thank you. Yep, he had his girlfriend or wife at the time towel his ass. Fact.
I remember Braun Strowman saying something similar when he first joined the WWE, but with his arms were so big, I think it was he couldn't go from behind. Oh, he could only wipe from one direction, and it's like, why would you tell someone on the internet that?
Wow.
He said that either on Twitter or an interview or something. But I remember reading it and being like, why would you get that big? I understand wanting to get beastie. I go to the gym. It's good to work out, but to get to the point where you can't wipe your ass properly because your arms are that bulky, it's like, yeah, you've maybe gone a bit too far now.
Do you think that's where the band One Direction got their name? They could only wipe in one direction.
I thought it was their audition.
They couldn't.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Reezy, you still with us? You dead?
I'm with you.
Oh, I thought you was dead.
Dozed off.
I fixed it.
Nice. Yep, we're killing it right now. So much to talk about. I know we're going all over the place, but it's making a whole lot of sense to me. All this talk. This is some expert analyst business.
So let's talk about this match card for Netflix. Was there
Well, the first
any
one
match?
is
The
Reigns.
first one,
The Reigns and Solo in the tribal
I was
something or
tribal
other.
combat, and I would say I was very surprised. I was very surprised that kicked off the show. That threw me off.
It threw me
I didn't
off
know that
a
was.
little bit.
Yeah, I thought
you
that
would
was
say
going to be a
yeah.
main event.
Yep.
It was a good match. I wasn't. It didn't go the way I expected, but I'm not mad at the decision.
Yep.
My only question is now, since Roman won, is Solo going to do what he said he was going to do? Acknowledge Roman, and if he does acknowledge Roman, are we just going to do kind of like what we talked about in the past, a big giant stable with the whole bloodline together?
I already talked about this. Remember? We put this
Yeah,
together Saturday.
yeah, that's why I'm bringing it up. You said this, and that's what it's looking like is going to happen. Because to me, it makes no sense to continue a Roman and Solo feud. It doesn't make any sense to do that, especially after the promo Solo cut before the match. If Solo didn't cut that promo to Paul before the match, then okay. But right now, you might as well put them, like you said, back together.
Yep. And one more thing, Reezy, come out, go out, come back again. The burping's back. And this time, just speak on a lower tone and the burping won't appear, I believe. I think I got it.
Okay. Speak on a lower tone. I'll do that. It could be my earpods too.
So when you go out, you come back. As soon as it starts to amp up and I see it starts to peak on here, then the burping starts.
Let me try this before I leave. I'm gonna take my
Alright.
earpods out.
I don't know if you guys are going to be here for a little bit afterwards or after 8 o'clock. We may push this a little late because we got people coming up and showing up. So definitely retweet this and share this everywhere. And you can drop out whenever you want, Danny. You don't have to stay, but
No, I'm good.
I may go extra innings tonight.
That's fine. Well, 3 hours of Raw. I said on Saturday that I always write too many notes. I always make too many notes.
Yeah.
I did 3 pages. I've done like a page in
3
half an hour. So I've started writing something for my website just as like a special attraction. Just instead of like the pay-per-view write-ups, I've just done a Netflix debut write-up, and that'll be on the DannyDamage.co.uk tomorrow. But
Where is it? Tell us one more time because it was very quick.
DannyDamage.co.uk.
There you go. Go check it out, everybody.
See it there and put .co.uk on the end. But yeah, that'll be done in the morning, I think. But there were so many notes that I made, and there was so much shit for me to point out, and I was like, I can't just come on your show and just take like 4 hours of just me reading all this shit and hijacking. So
no,
yeah.
Definitely. If anybody's got anything to say, I know I speak a lot, but I would like this to be more of a conversation between us, the chat, and everything else. It's almost like we're all talking on the phone. And that always ends up being for a better show. To have it, me go through just notes sometimes like we did at the beginning, but I knew that was going to happen because you got to go through notes at the beginning and you got to have some kind of a foundation, something to work off of. But the way we're doing it now is pretty free flowing. You can jump in, jump out. Other people can jump in possibly at times. It's who knows what's going to happen. One day we'll start having wrestlers popping in and out because I'll be sending out links and they might just show up. Yep. Reezy's sounding great.
That sound great.
So no burping, no demon is there. We have exorcised the demons.
Sounds like these AirPods was the demons.
Yeah. All this technology. Yep. So the Roman Reigns thing happened. My thing is, when I'm watching it, it was the first match, and as soon as I saw it was the first match, I thought to myself, "Well, this isn't going to be major. I don't think anything major is coming," and nothing major happened. Roman became the OTC again, which I think is going the safe path. I thought that they might go the rough path, and I would have, if I were to write the show, give Paul Heyman over to Solo, keep the bloodline separate. The Rock is a prick. There was some kind of conspiracy going on, but Paul Heyman wasn't necessarily a part of it. They didn't do any of that. They basically just reset with Roman Reigns back as the tribal chief. Heyman's in his place. The Rock comes out, anoints him again, pretty much. Hey, here you go. You're the man. He makes up with Cody Rhodes, like I said earlier. And it was just very odd. It seemed like a hard reset for Netflix.
Or for WrestleMania to have Rock and Roman like they were meant to do last year. So it's maybe just their way of getting to last year's match, but this year.
Yeah.
That's how I interpreted it. But putting that match on first was their way of, I think, we've got this new audience who might just tune in for the first however long. So what we'll do is rather than giving them Seth and Punk, we'll give them what was essentially like a little mini version of the Roman and Cody WrestleMania match, where it's like, yeah, you see some wrestling, some in-ring storytelling with the wrestling, but then you see interference from him, and then this other feud comes in and they neutralize themselves, and then you see the finish, and then you see The Rock come in and make himself a part of yet another moment.
Yeah.
Because he likes to do that.
I'm sure it was good to, these newcomers and whatnot, but to us, it was very bland. It was, like I said, you had two paths pretty much, or we got swerved, and we didn't get a swerve. We didn't get the second path. We just got the full on. All right, here you go. This is how it's done. Same thing. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, them finishing up the story. Hopefully, Dominic Mysterio in the ring. Now, did Dominic Mysterio not try to get back with Rhea Ripley because he was scared of her and didn't want to get beat up, or was it because she did have the title again? And now, if that's the case, does Liv have a problem with this? Leave the Judgment Day. I'm confused because people are telling me two different things online.
Dom looked like he was going to sneak attack her, I thought, and then she turned around and saw him. I think he was like, I'm going to get you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So maybe he was like, oh, no, I love you now. But I don't know. It's all very weird.
Yeah, he just got caught being a little weasel bastard. So I think he just tried to go with it.
So he's still going to be with Liv, you're saying?
I reckon so, yeah.
Thought I had a chance there for a minute. As soon as she gets away from him, Liv Morgan is all mine. You see. Except for and I'm going to tell her, no more of this face. No more of this.
But it's like the only one she knows, mate. It's that and blow-up doll. She needs that 1990s plastic blow-up doll face. And then
I feel like she needs the title, though. So Rhea Ripley has a title. The Undertaker puts her over super mega huge, even though it didn't. The only sense that I could make of it is Rhea Ripley has a lot of tattoos and a lot of piercings. Biker chick. Right? Was that the main? Yeah. Like with the dudes, it's a little different. Like Roman Reigns, it's like a top guy thing. Bray Wyatt, it's like, oh, it's a horror thing. I'm putting you over. Rhea Ripley, it's like, well, you're the biker chick. I'm the American badass. You're the female badass, I guess.
I think it was for Priest because Taker came and gave Rhea the rub, and then next time you saw Rhea, she was backstage, and Priest, who had done nothing all night, was just there, like just absorbing some of that aura.
That's right. He is the new Undertaker, technically.
They keep. I tell you, mate. I know you like him. I know you like him a lot, but they want to push him a lot harder than he's been ready for a long time.
Yeah,
but they keep giving him big spots.
Some good matches. He had. How about the match with the Puerto Rican rapper? He got through a match with a Puerto Rican rapper that doesn't wrestle, and it was like good.
It wasn't terrible. I'll say. I won't say it was good, but it wasn't terrible. I was expecting a lot worse.
What do you think about that match, Reese? You remember that one?
Which match was this? Go back.
What's his name? Priest. Bad Bunny. Yeah.
Bad. Oh yeah, I do remember Bad Bunny. WWE. Yeah. Yep. I remember him.
Bad Bunny. I remember the first time I heard that name, I thought it was the Catch Me Outside girl.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna say Bad Bunny wasn't over with the crowd, but my whole thing with that was they were pushing Bad Bunny over a lot of talent who was sitting at home doing nothing, who really deserved that more. And Bad Bunny wasn't there for the stay. He was only there for the paycheck and a quick pop and to get some stuff for his music career and go home. But he wasn't a bad wrestler now. Bad
No.
Bunny,
And he was over, and it's because they were Puerto
he was
Rico.
over.
So there
Yeah,
was
I say
him.
that. He
There
was
was
over.
there was Priest, and there was Zelina Vega, and they really, really pushed Vega. That, and I wouldn't push Zelina Vega for in-ring stuff at all. On the outside, when she was a manager, she was brilliant, but it's just sadly one of those cases where, well, it's not a Vince thing now, but Vince used to just get a bit of a bee in his bonnet sometimes and really want to get managers in the ring, and it's like, why? They would find where they were, you idiot. Just let them do that. They're great. But yeah, so I agree with Reezy there with people getting pushed, because it wasn't just Bad Bunny, but because he's a non-wrestler, it just seemed a bit
Right.
daft that he got such a big spotlight on him. I think they main
I
event.
mean, they made money off of him with merch and everything. I don't blame them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a huge match. I don't know if it main evented, but it was like one of the bigger matches of. He was in the video game even.
Mhm.
Right.
They also put Machine Gun Kelly in the video game, I think, which is crazy. And Post Malone never even stepped in a ring, and he's in a DLC. Oh,
That's one thing I want to change about wrestling games is stop putting people in it that doesn't work for the company.
absolutely. Yep. And how about this? Don't make DLCs anymore.
No.
More people would buy the game. I would buy it every single year. If not only did you have, say, 1,000 different wrestlers on there, I don't care how big the game is going to be. All these games are friggin' obnoxiously large now for my PC. But make it so you have 1,000 wrestlers, and you can always get more. But do you really need more than 1,000? But just do that, and everybody will buy it. You'll get so many more sales than trying to sell this game than trying to sell. They're just so greedy. They're trying to nickel and dime it and trying to trick everybody. You don't need to trick people. Give them what they want. You could literally have a list and go, here's all the 50s wrestlers, 60s wrestlers. Spend a year and just have your development team make every single wrestler that's ever been alive. I mean, within reason. That's in the old WWFs or the new WWEs, WCW, so on and so forth. And I'm telling you, they will sell like hotcakes every single year. Because if you just update things here and there with it, that's all people want. Update the games, make sure they work. Fucking gaming is so bad these days. You guys play games at all?
Yeah, man. I got a PS5. I haven't touched my PS5 in a long time, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have massive breaks here and there, and then I'll get into a game, and then
I just don't have the comfortability to play my game because, like, it's just the area where my game. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. You gotta have.
I just need to get me a
some kind
man
of
cave or
studio like
something.
this.
I need to give me a man cave or something. But yeah, that game, man. I just think back to these wrestling games. I just think there's just too much stuff in the game that doesn't need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
The rosters are way too big.
Yeah. You think you're too big?
I think the rosters are way too big. We don't need that many people in the game.
Thousands. I want them all.
Yeah.
I want to be able to have like any match I want. Earthquake versus Bronson Reed. I got it. You know what I mean? You name, and then it's all done for me. I don't have to go download something else.
I think they should bring back Legends of Wrestling. Just do a Legends of Wrestling game.
wasn't that hated?
Oh yeah, it was hated. I think they'll do a better job now. But it was hated back in the day because the controls was weird.
Yeah.
It was hard to play the game. But yeah.
Intentionally trying not to control like SmackDown or whichever other WWE one was out. I think that's what it was. They were trying not to have the same controls as the WWE one. So it was like, right, so now you're just going to do like a handstand and play with your nose just so we're not the same. And it didn't work.
The mid 2000 WWE games for PS2, awesome. Not all of them, but some of them in there. And then of course the N64. Like you still can't beat some of those. Those are like the greatest games still.
Royal Rumble for the Dreamcast. That was a belter. That was fucking great. And the Royal Rumble game for the Mega Drive as well. The Genesis, sorry for you lads. That was it 92, I think that one came out. Rumble 92. That was
Oh yeah, that was good. That was a good one.
So many hours into that.
Yep. But
And then what was the arcade? Was it just the WWF arcade game? What was the one where the
Royal Rumble.
oh yeah, I know what you mean. The arcade.
Royal Rumble.
Was that Royal Rumble too?
Yep.
No, there was one that was. I think it was called the arcade game. Like the Undertaker's chokeslam, he like flew across the ring.
Oh
to
yeah,
grab
that was
them,
WrestleMania. That was the
WrestleMania.
And
WrestleMania.
Doink,
arcade.
and they
Doink
did
had the
like
big colorful hammer as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
Ramon.
WrestleMania. That was the
was
That was
a
the
good one.
first wrestling game I played.
that was a
That
freaking
was a
great
good one.
game. Yep. We still got Cena to talk about. Cena came out. He's got his farewell to his hair tour going on, and
And
into
some of his
everybody else.
chest. He looks thin. He looks like he's lost quite a bit of weight. To be fair, that t-shirt
Yeah.
looked like it was starting to hang off him. Not that he's a small bloke, but he had much more presence before, and he's just looking like a bit tame.
Yeah, Cena, get some pump on before you come out again. I mean, the children's clothes doesn't help. He's got now the matching socks now. It is brutal. But it's like the
Yeah.
older he gets, the more childlike he becomes. Yeah.
It could just be his apparel, yeah.
Yeah. But John Cena came out, did the odd shucks. I don't know if I'm good enough anymore. I don't know if I can do that. I haven't won a match in a million years since the dinosaurs roamed the earth.
And I certainly don't deserve an Oscar. Blush,
Yeah.
blush. Fuck off.
Yep. Wink, wink, everybody, right? I do, because I kind of do. I mean, I haven't seen Peacemaker yet, but I'll get around to it. And I'm sure
I
he's
was
good.
talking about his little naked sort of like run across the stage. That was the performance that'll win him over in Hollywood, won't it? Not actually what he does on screen, it's what he doesn't do on screen. I think they judge him on. So
I think his greatest performance is saying how sorry he was to the Chinese Communist Party.
I think it's the only thing of his that's non-wrestling that I've watched from start to finish, to be honest.
Remember that, Reese? You remember when John Cena with an X was out here saying, so sorry, Chinese Communist Party, for me saying anything that you did.
I remember that.
Yep. He was so scared. Him and LeBron. Terrified. You're going to lose business.
John Cena's tour is going to be very interesting. Not sure who his first opponent's going to be.
I know he mentioned Logan Paul, and I'm sure Logan Paul is in the mix for probably taking him on at some point this year.
Yeah.
Totally stinks. I don't want it. I mean, come on. Can we really have this, guys? Logan Paul versus John Cena? I say not.
Yeah. I don't see it being that beneficial. It's not a matchup I can see sort of like with that. The Miz and Maurice were fucking brilliant when they were doing all this.
I got another clip. I didn't play it yesterday. Here you go. Here's a little John Cena behind the scenes when I recorded it.
A lot of people violate rule number 40 of John Cena's house rules in the living room by forgetting to use drink coasters.
Not me. I know John Cena house rules. I always use a drink coaster. Thank you very much.
John Cena, recognize.
John Cena, recognize. And here's his laugh. John Cena's patented laugh. John Cena, you are a great man. You're hilarious. You bring us all the greatest wrestling moments, especially when you get really angry and you do the Undertaker thing. Love that moment. My favorite John Cena, of course, because you know me, I blanked out pretty much 2006 on, and I was like, the Doctor of Thugonomics was the shit. And then when he became like military John Cena, I was like, I'm out of this. I'm not military John Cena. I'm Doctor of Thugonomics here. He's from my area too. All these people are from my area. Sasha Banks, John Cena, Carmelo Hayes. They all live around. They all live right down. They're on the same street as me. It's unbelievable.
Another match. How did you guys feel about the Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley?
Oh, we talked about that a little bit. I think that was one of the times when you left, but I'll give you a quick recap again.
I want to recap it. I didn't hear you.
It was just like the Tribal Chief match to me. It was everything I expected. It was Rhea gets the belt back. They get what's his name? Daddy Dom gets his comeuppance, and all is right with the world, right? Then Mommy gets to show off her butt cheeks and her cakes while doing the Undertaker pose with the badass Undertaker. And the only reason they did that, Reezy, once again, and for the audience, is because she's got a lot of tattoos. She looks like a biker old lady, as they call them. I'm not calling her an old lady. That's the biker slang term for wives, I guess, or girlfriends. So, see, everybody's learning so much tonight. I love this. And we did talk about Rollins and Punk, right?
Yeah, we talked about Rollins and Punk.
Yep. CM Punk winning, it was weird to me. It was a little.
Well, we kind of predicted that, though.
Yeah, but knowing that he lost 3 times to Cody, put Roman over, helped put Cody over again in a tag match against Roman. I get it because Punk's the top guy, right? He's got to have his WrestleMania main event spot. That's what's coming. Who he fights, who knows at this point, but yeah, he's totally going for the main event at WrestleMania, and he's probably going to get it. And Seth Mugatu Rollins is just going to have to move on or something, become fully bad, start throwing coffee in people's faces. That's what I would do. Wow, we're killing it tonight. We just got through all those big matches. Here's a quick little tidbit. Penta is coming to face off against Chad Gable next week. Everybody knows that's the luchador he's facing. If it's Dragon Lee or Mysterio, that will be stupid. Yep. You got Penta in your life now, Danny.
Why? Just keep him on the fucking mud show. I don't care. There's enough people that can do flips and dives.
Yep. Well, you got to
know. Is he the one that does his zero miedo and sticks his hand in everyone's face all the time?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like his spot. He does that for like 2 or 3 minutes. That's part of his move set. Just a hand gesture back and yeah, but not for me, thanks. Not for me, thanks. It works in it. Well, it works with an AEW crowd.
Not even Lucha Underground. Do you remember him from those days?
Yeah, no.
I do. I mean,
too much kicking out of everything, and just they'll hit like 5 or 6 back-to-back double team moves and still keep going, and yeah, it's too much. Silly.
I used to watch Penta. We're talking Penta, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch Penta before Lucha. I mean, I've been a fan of him for a while. I think Penta going to WWE, he should have been there. He should have been there. But I think right now it's more of the perfect time because I don't think Vinny would have pushed him. He would have got pushed well with NXT, but I think the main roster probably would have buried him. But I'm excited to see what he does. I wouldn't be surprised if they put him with LWO, which I hope not. But we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, get rid of that LWO. That is not.
If they're gonna do it, my ideal for LWO is this: if you guys are gonna keep this going, a way to kind of reboot them is getting rid of Rey Mysterio for one. I would replace Rey Mysterio with Dominic, and then add Penta.
Yeah, Dominic Mysterio could fix the NWO pretty much just by.
Oh yeah. Put Dominic, Penta, I'll put Dragon Lee in. I'll put the people who can actually go.
Yeah.
And I'll get rid of the guys nobody cares about. Like most of the guys in that group, other than Rey Mysterio and Zelina, I don't even remember their names.
Yeah.
And there's no offense
World
to them.
Order. That's what I call them.
Yeah, there's no offense to them. It's just they haven't been properly introduced or advertised enough for me to care about him.
Well, I have one more topic for you guys, and we're gonna close this out. But
Okay.
Travis came out with in the McIntyre Jey Uso match. You know, this Travis Burger King Scott, as I call him. Remember this, guys?
I have
Remember that
no
concept?
idea who this guy is. I learned his name yesterday, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this prick doing?
I barely
So,
know who he is either.
this
You
is
know,
all
I'm
news to
sure
me.
Reezy know you can tell you can school us on Travis Scott. All I know about him is he had a Burger King sandwich, and a bunch of people died at one of his concerts here at Astro
Right.
World.
Yeah, not just did a bunch of people die at his concert. When he knew people were dying, he kept the concert going.
Oh, fucking hell.
Evil, so evil. I
Um,
mean, look at what you're walking into, everybody.
he's one of the biggest musicians alive right now.
Which is crazy to me because his music sounds like everybody else's music out there, which leads me to believe it's more about eating babies, okay, like John Cena, and it's less about your musical abilities and your sensibilities, whatever, what have you. And it's just wild to me. The world is crazy to me. When people, I used to have people tell me, like, when I was a kid, you could be president one day, you could, be the biggest pop star in the world or whatever if you wanted to. No, you can't. Not if you don't eat babies. Like, come on, guys. I've grown up, and now when people ever mention that stuff to me as if like this can actually be reality, it's like, but I'm not blackmailable. I haven't done anything to be blackmailed for. So it's a whole different universe. I wasn't even conspiratorial at all, anybody, until that event happened in 9/11, and I started going, this is thing. I'm like, some things don't make sense, right? And I that's not like the beginning. The real beginning was a few years after that, when I'm like, I would like to get in the music business. How do you do this? Clickety, clickety, click all over the online. And then you find out about all this shit. And this is like early 2000s. And I went, I don't have a shot. Because I'm not going to eat babies. I'm not going to, throw people under the bus and sacrifice and do all this, like, whatever this is. And you know what? I don't even know people to be able to do that. That when you know what I'm saying? Like, you actually have to be in front of people that do that stuff to have a chance at it anyway, the Diddy business and all this other stuff. And it turns into this. And then it blows my mind the older I get. The business has just gotten worse with it. Like I said, with how like the grifters at the beginning have they're starting to slowly come into wrestling now again, now that it's worldwide. This happened with music a long, long time ago. And it's not even reached the climax yet, I don't think, but it's damn close, because like, just look at this picture. This is an actual festival. Okay. And it's, like I said, the same beats, the same rapping style and cadence. Do you remember crab rappers, Reezy? The
crab rappers?
A crab rapper.
Mm-mm.
A crab rapper, it's almost like a crab in a bucket. You know how they drag each other down, but a crab rapper bites off of other rappers. So if, say, somebody does a DMX gimmick, because it's essentially what it is, a gimmick. And then you come out there and you do your gimmick infringement and you're a crab rapper and you're like, your style is basically DMX's style. That was a big no-no back when I was a kid. Now they all do it. They're all crab rappers. They all bite each other's flows and the way they do it all. And it's just been ridiculous for like 20 years almost now. So that's my rant on hip hop in general. There's a few good ones out there. One of them, the Fly God, who actually holds wrestling promotions. Tell us more about that, Reezy.
So West Side Gun and Smoke DZA, two underground rappers, have a wrestling promotion called Fourth Row. It's an indie promotion. They've had many people come up there. and support. If you have not seen them, they are on YouTube. Check them out. They are called Fourth Row. They're killing it right now. They're going to be in Vegas in April, which I will be at their show.
Nice.
So
Hook it up, Fly God. Let's go, West Side Gun.
and hopefully I get
You
some
out there.
pictures with them, man.
Better than this. What from what I've heard of this, and everybody's amazed that Travis Scott comes out there and is smoking a blunt in front of children, getting them high as fuck. You think that's cool? I don't know. Doesn't seem that cool to me.
Well, it's legal. Well, here's what I'll say.
Whatever, I'll do what I want.
It is legal, but Triple H hilariously commented on it because I guess Travis Scott passed it to Jay, and Jay didn't take it, and he was in Jay. Yeah, they asked Triple H about it, and Triple H was like, "Yeah, you know, Travis Scott coming out smoking was pretty cool, but I'm so happy Jay Uso didn't take that from him because that would have ended badly for him."
Mm-hmm.
He's
So
the
I don't know what
designated
that
driver
meant, but-
between the Usos, isn't he? So yeah, he can't touch that because his
You
brother
gotta
can't
do it
drive him home.
backstage. Yeah. I don't think the WWE would even care as long as
It depends on who does it. Because remember, they're very biased. It depends on who it is. If you're one of their big stars that makes them money, like
Randy
Roman,
Orton?
like if Roman hit that blunt, they wouldn't have cared.
Yeah. You know who was one of the biggest smokers over there? Not like every day necessarily,
Huh.
but
I'll
is
say every day. Yeah.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Yep, I've been told that by many the wrestler. They say Vince, he fucking
Well, in the beginning, Vince wasn't a big smoker
no, right.
because he would shit on RVD for smoking, apparently. But then later on, Vince started smoking.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a difference between being an in-ring performer and getting baked out of your mind before a match and being the guy that's like creatively running the show with a headset on, for example, and doing it. Much different because I'm not putting people's lives in danger. You know,
Right.
it's putting their reputations at danger. You see. Like this guy right here, we keep looking at. This is freaking me out. I don't want to look at this anymore.
Yeah, it didn't behave much better on Raw, to be honest. The note I made, like I said, I didn't know who he was. I don't fucking care about pop music.
Yeah.
It's just
You guys don't have Burger Kings?
I mean, Travis Scott
yeah.
is known for his Astro World tours and yeah, but he's a really big artist of this new generation. These kids love him.
Yep.
they love Taylor Swift, they love McDonald's, they love everything that's advertised to them. So I'm not surprised that someone that you, Doc, said is quite generic is this popular. It's always bloody happened. But I just saw a narcissistic twat just holding a belt following Jey Uso. It wasn't about putting the WWE over that he was a guest on. He was just stood there posing, getting himself over. And that was it. And it's like, what do you contribute to this? Is the epitome of all these stupid crossovers that Vince was obsessed with doing when they always put the non-wrestler before the wrestler. And it's just like, oh yeah, we don't care about the wrestlers for now. We've got a proper celebrity, we've got a proper entertainer or a proper star. And Vince would see his own people like that. See also Dolph Ziggler dressed up as the KFC Colonel wrestling people.
Yeah.
Jericho
The
doing the
Miz was
Snickers
eaten by
advert.
zombies.
Yeah, the Miz getting eaten by zombies. Jericho and R-Truth doing the Snickers adverts. I think Otis and Chad Gable did a Snickers advert a bit ago, and just
Otis is hilarious, by the way.
Yeah,
that
some
guy's
of them,
entertaining.
yeah. Sometimes I do think it's like, oh, that's nice because that particular wrestler wouldn't have got an advert spot or an endorsement deal. Sometimes I do think that, but then other times you watch it and it's like, this is back when Vince was in charge. It's like, come on, Vince, if you're going to make someone do something that degrading, you put the outfit on. You parade around as the KFC Colonel.
Put the turban on, Dr. Huge. You look Indian. Put the turban. I'm like, I'm not Indian, Vince. I don't want to put the turban. You're going to put the turban on, pal, or you're going to lose your job.
It's Ricky Steamboat. You dragon now. It's like, I'm not from there. You dragon. It's like, I'm not from there, Vince. And it's like, no, quiet. You dragon now. So, all right, I'm the dragon now. Fair enough. Just give me the headdress and the fire. And
I love the Undertaker story where he's like, I just didn't want to be the Eggman. He's like, I thought I was going to be the Eggman for a minute. And I was like, holy shit, why did I say that? I was this close to being the egg. Oh man, yeah, that's wild stuff. New NXT's going on right now, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Roxanne is taking on Julia later tonight. Get this over with already. This feels like a Liv Rhea deal to me, where it's just like, we understand that you've been building up to this. Let's get this over with. Put the strap on Julia.
Julia. Now, first off, let's get to Julia. Julia is going to be a megastar.
Yep.
She's going to be a megastar. I think, I know, Julia is going to win this match and send Roxanne to the main roster. I'm kind of afraid for Roxanne going to the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure how that's going to work, but hopefully it works good. But Julia is a megastar, man. She got style. She got charisma. She can work the mic. She's a great worker in the ring. I mean, she has all the tools to be a star.
And Stephanie Vacker.
That's another one.
She'll be winning her match. She's in a fatal 4-way with Kalani, Cora Jade, and Lola. But I'm saying Stephanie Vacker's winning this match because this is a number one contender spot for the mid-card, the North American women's title there. And if anybody's going to win, if Julia's going to win the main title, Stephanie's going to win the mid-card. I think that's how they'll start out.
Mm-hmm. I can see that happening. I mean, you also got
How about this? I think Stephanie Vacker is better than Julia. Just I
wouldn't argue that. I wouldn't argue that. I like Julia better, but I wouldn't argue that. You know, those two will put on a killer match.
It was the first match, apparently. Don't ruin it for us. No spoilers. I'm gonna go and watch it in a little bit.
I'm gonna go watch it too. You know.
And then we got Olba, Trick, and Eddie Thorpe for the championship, which probably is the main event. And I'm guessing Obafemi is going to win it if Trick moves up, if they have plans for that. Again, I don't understand how they're moving all these people up when they have tons of people up there already. So maybe he retains this Trick. And a few others lower matches. You get the Fatal Influence girls against the chicks with the toys, which reminded me of this. I was just hitting samples before the show, and I went,
I'm the beast.
No, I don't want you. We're close. We're almost there.
Shut up.
No, not you. Where's my sound effects? We'll find it in a second.
Each one of you will admire me.
That's not it.
Respect me, and you will love me.
Thank you, Dolph Ziggler.
I'm the beast.
Where is it?
Shut up.
Hey, you shut your... The best in the...
I swear to God, I had it queued up in this spot. Where did they go?
Dropping fucking words.
There it is. Here goes my comedy bit now, everybody, now that I'm prepared.
You want to taste the tuna? No.
We don't want to taste the tuna. That's what she's saying.
You want to taste the tuna? Yes.
Or maybe you do.
Yes.
Maybe you guys do. I don't know. Do you taste the tuna, King Reezy?
Trailer park trash.
Well, The Rock's here now, too.
You want to taste the tuna?
She's talking to you, King Reezy.
I mean, Gigi, darling.
Mhm.
Yes.
Anytime from Gigi, darling. I'll tell you that.
Danny?
You want to taste the tuna?
I don't like waiting in line. Sorry.
No.
Well, there you have it. We've said it all. Everybody out there, get retweeting and sharing. I might not be back tomorrow because, I'll be too busy watching AEW or something. But no, I'm definitely be back Thursday. And I'm going to have Jay Leto from PWP on. Big Hulk Hogan fan. All that stuff. We're going to get into it all. And thank you once again, Reezy and Danny Damage, for coming on. Killing it as usual. Staying extra innings, overtime. And to everybody out here, thank you for pressing those buttons, the few people that actually do. We need the watch hours over here on YouTube. Get over here on YouTube. Go buy my album, all the music that you hear at the beginning of the show. And we'll talk to you guys later. Good game, everybody. Have a good night.
Titillate The juices. You know what? Woo! Right now. Woo! Woo!
Dr. Hughes invites followers. Oh, let's see if they increase now. Me too. Yeah, wow. Dr. Hughes.
Smoky Smoke.
He's a great podcaster.
Tricky Smoke.
Acknowledge me. We coming for you, nigga. Fat!
Yeah, Dr. Hughes, here we go. Keep plugging yourself, that's cool.
You fucking mark! First up, a man whose looks will serve your inner needs and desires.
Dr. Hughes.
No!